Welcome back to the Mission YouTube channel. I'm Andy Cornwall, this is Matthew Edgar with some more tips for you. And today, Matt, we're going to talk about practice versus training. What's the difference?
There's a big difference in this. Practice is defined as something like you can do it already and you're just trying to get reps in, you're trying to practice, essentially. That is where, if we was to look at a shooting drill in football, I've taught you how you're going to strike the ball, I've taught you all the coachable factors and points, and now I'm going to leave you and say, right, here's your drill, goalkeeper's in, etc, etc. We're not going to map a drill out, but that's where you get to cycle it through and practice the training factors and the coaching points that are in there.
So is that the reps? Is that repetition of doing the same thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is what most people do as well. When they get to a drill, they'll just practice, and there's no challenge in there, there's no progression, or the challenge is challenging in a way that's going to cause a psychological defect rather than development.
Okay, yeah.
So what we tend to do is we tend to over-challenge just by reducing or setting new targets. So, for example, if I was to do around the board,
okay,
and what people do is they'll count how many darts it takes them to do.
Yep.
And then what they'll do is they'll go, right, I can do it in 40 darts.
Okay.
And then what they'll do is they'll ghost themselves. So they'll say, 40 darts is my best, I want to beat 40 darts. So all year round, you're going to try and beat 40 darts. And you bring it down 35, 32, 30. This isn't training, this is practice, because the content's not changed. The content's the same. So I'm not making it harder, I'm not developing it, I'm not training, I'm practicing. The other thing this does is, because you're ghosting yourself, actually, eventually, you're going to find you're no longer making progression. Because around the board, the best you can score is 20.
Yep.
There's only 20 targets.
Yep.
So there'll be a point where you freeze and you get to, let's say, 29 darts. And when you're on 29 darts, how many times in a year do you think, if you did that drill every day for 365 days, how many times do you think you're going to beat 29? Maximum 8.
Yeah.
So you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yes.
For 360
you can only get
days
better
a year.
Eight times, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Andy, do you want me to show you a training drill?
I'd love you to.
Have you got your darts for you today?
I've got some darts, yeah, they're not mine, but we'll give it a go.
Let's do it. So the difference between training and practice is throwing at targets. We're going to start off level 1 with a bit of practice. We're going to do this computer game style. We're going to work it in levels. All I want you to do, round the board, 1 to 20.
Oh, blimey.
Say nice and easy. Nice and easy. Look at that. Well, that's a treble. We're not giving you that one.
All right, okay.
So we'll have another throw on that one. On the threes.
So we're going on the threes,
We're on the threes. Perfect. We'll pause you there. We know you're a decent player. We know you can do this. So now I'm going to just progress the challenge a little bit. We're going to go to level 2. Level 2 is you can only use the fat part of the segment. So we're not using the little bit. We're not using the treble or the doubles. Just the fat part. And you've got 3 lives. If you miss 3 darts at your target, you're going to drop back 1 number. So if you missed your 3 darts at the fat 6, you're going to drop back to number 5.
Oh, right, okay.
So we're progressing the content.
Yeah, I see what we're doing. Yep. Okay, so we're at 6.
Two lives.
Oh, that was
1
good.
live.
Right.
Now, if you hit the 7 now,
Yeah.
you regenerate your 3 lives when you move to 8.
Okay.
So it's not a continuation.
Right, okay.
So if you hit it, we're moving to 8 with 3 lives. If you miss it, you're back to 6.
Got you. So
And you're back
missed
to
it.
6.
So we go back, so we want to carry on with
yeah.
these?
Yes, carry
on with these, but we've gone back
Never
to
waste
6.
darts in your training or
Yeah,
your practice.
okay.
Everything should have a purpose.
And now back to 7?
Back to 7. Perfect.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to reduce this.
All right. It's going to get harder still.
1 life. Level 3. 1 life.
Wow.
So you can miss once,
Yep.
then
You've got to hit it with the next dart. Right, okay. So we're starting on 8.
That's your life. And
That's
you're back
gone.
to 7. You still
So
don't never
still carry on
waste,
with this, but I'm back to 7. Yeah.
Always
okay.
throwing blocks of 3. And back
All right.
to 8.
So now we go back to 8, but I've still got the 1 life, yeah?
You get your life every time
Ah, okay.
that you move forward.
Oh, doubles. All right, so we got to 9.
With your life.
All
Cool.
right.
Okay, so we're on 10. We're going to take it up another level.
Okay.
In a game, everything you do has a reason, has a purpose. If you hit a single 20, if you hit a treble, if you hit a double, everything has a psychological attachment to what you throw at. When you practice, you throw at targets. When you train, we need to have that psychological element as well. So now every dart you throw is going to matter. So you're starting on 10. If you hit, you move forward. If you miss, you move back.
Okay, that's a toughie then.
So forward to 11, 12, and 13. Nice clean full house.
Oh.
And now we're going to ramp the pressure up as well.
So we
we're going
missed
back
15, so we'd go back to 14 now, is that right?
Back to 14s, and we're going to ramp the pressure up. What is the thing that's missing right now? You've got a start point, you've got a finish point, we're progressing the drill, but the ability to lose at the moment's not in there. And that's the thing you fear most when you play.
Yeah.
The fear of losing, the fear of missing, ultimately the description of dartitis. So what we're going to do now is we're going to increase the pressure, increase the chance of miss. So you've got 3 lives. They rotate. You miss 14, you go to 13, you got 2. Miss 13 to 12, 1. Miss 12, you're out of lives, you've lost the game, back to 1.
Oh, right.
So we're starting on 14.
Okay.
3 lives.
3 lives on 14.
So 15 with 3, 14 with 2. Now let's just say, for example, you missed that last dart.
Okay.
Now, how many times, in your experience when you've played darts, if you've gone down the local league, Dave wants 45, and he's got 1 dart at the single number and misses it. When can you ever practice with pressure in that situation? You're about to do it.
Yeah.
Because you've got 1 dart in your hand. If you miss 13, you've lost the game. If you hit it, you're on 14 with your 3 darts back.
Yep.
So now we're recreating match scenarios. We're training.
Yeah, we are. 13.
Pressure dart there. So now you've got your 3 darts back on the 14.
Oh, I missed the 15.
And we go back again. So
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
now,
Good.
this is where we can start to include our extra parts to the game. Now we're going to do floating lives. We're going to start the round again. We're going to go back to 1. But in this, you've got 10 lives.
Okay.
So you can lose this game 2 ways now. You can lose it by missing 10 targets or by missing 3 in a row. So there are 2 ways now that you can lose in this game. So we've increased the fear factor of the loss, and we've increased the intensity. So how do you practice under pressure? How can you replicate a game? Matt, you can't do it. Yes, you can. This is single numbers.
Yeah, and do you know,
now it matters.
I really like that, Matt, especially the bit you said about Dave down the pub, because how many times do you see him? You've got 45 left, Dave. So he goes for the 5 because he loves double top, but he misses the 5 and it's 20. Now he's got 25 left. So now he thinks, oh, I'll go for the 9 for double 8. I like double 8. He misses the 9. Now he's had 3 darts from 45 and he's not even got a way to win the leg.
You can replicate match pressure. It is easy to do at home. You can do it by yourself. Make sure you're training. Increase the content. Don't just challenge yourself. Don't just try and do it in less darts all the time. Increase the content. Make the drill harder. We did what there? 7 levels. We could have kept going until we found the point where you can't do it. It's always that chase.
Yep.
Find the point where you're struggling to complete it and work at that level.